What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Coach Ken from Giving It a Try. If you listened on a recent podcast, you knew that I had a torn meniscus sometime, and it just kind of reared its ugly head back at the beginning of July. I opted to go for surgery rather than wait and kind of see if things would get better. I was unable to run. I was basically able to do everything else at that point: cycling, strength training. Lost some of the deep flexion mobility as far as just with that tear. So I decided it was a good just window of opportunity based on everything else I have going on in order to try and correct that. They were going to trim it, do a meniscectomy, and it was a medial tear on the inside, and had that done basically 6 or 7 weeks after the symptoms really started to flare up. And today is day 10 post-op. I spoke, I think it was day 7 was when I kind of talked about it in my podcast and things like that. But what I wanted to do real quick was just explain how my recovery is going, because I did a lot of research when I found out what was going on with me and what I, with surgery and recoveries and things. So, I think it's important to give back to those people that I watched and learn from them and seeing what it was like. If this is something, I've already had a couple people that I'm talking to, athletes who have a torn meniscus right now and might be going down the same road soon, getting that trim, getting that meniscectomy, and getting part of their meniscus shaved or cut out and repaired. The difference is, what they told me was, if they're going to try and repair your meniscus, stitch it back together, there's a lot of poor blood flow in that area, and you're basically going to be immobilized for 4 to 6 weeks because it has to heal before you can actually start. Where mine was, it was kind of a complex tear on the medial side. It was just kind of jagged. So they cleaned it up, cut it out. I'll be able to go to my follow-up visit next week, really talking about what happened. I'll do another update then. They'll also take the stitches out next week. So I still have stitches right now. The wound's healing pretty well. But I did want to show is just, a couple of the stretches I did and what happens. You go from somebody who had all these performance goals, race goals, things like that we were prepping for, to a different set of goals. My goals were, and I'm actually going to put some light on in here real quick because the light shut off, is some of the goals now look like micro goals, like how far I can bend my leg. So one of the big things that happens when is mobility, right? It kind of swells a little bit. It gets very tight right away. I walked out of there just with a cane the day of, was able to get into the house. But that first day was kind of rough. I was able to get up and down stairs with assistance with that cane, and just kind of went right at it the next day. I had it on the 19th of August, and then basically I marked the spots on the floor here as I got the stretches I had to do. And one of these was this assisted heel slide here. So you can tell on this side with the blue is my flexion of my good leg on its own can basically come back all the way to here. They measured at somewhere like 135 degrees of angle of flexion right here. Nice and easy all the way back. So I was like, that's the control. That's where we're at. First day I came out here, one day after, was basically right here. That was it. It wouldn't move anymore. Even with the strap, it's there. That was it. That was the only way we can go. And then 2 days later, I noticed a much bigger improvement. That was, I guess, 20, the third full day post-op. And then there was a big move then the day after. That was the fourth day, which when I was able to get all the way back to here. And then the last measured point I had was here. But even today, 10 days out now with this assisted heel slide here, we're able to get this pretty far back now, and no pain, no nothing. Flexion is good. Flexion's coming back again, day 10. I've just been working at it. My thoughts and philosophy going into this was do everything I can for the 6 weeks prior to my surgery date. I was able to cycle as much as I can, strength train as much as I can, lower body, upper body. There was really no pain besides just when I wanted to get out and do my typical running. So that was my thoughts on that, was just get out there and be as strong as I can going into surgery. And treating it kind of like a race. I mean, for me, who's out there doing triathlons, ultras, and all that stuff, is treat it as show up to race day, just like your surgery date, as strong and fit as possible, because you're going to have a little bit of a down period after that. So here we go. We're done. I just finished my stretches for the day. I mean, and my heels, basically, this is how I was measuring it. I would just put a piece of blue tape right here and then kind of measure it to my control here. And if we look at it, we're very close. We're basically like another tape's length away from just being full there. I think once the stitches come out, things will be able to move around. I don't know if it's the stitch site that feels a little tight, or but I was able to get out there for Indoor bike riding, a couple days after, tested it really light, like no power, just seeing how that range of motion was up at the top of the pedal stroke when you have a lot of knee flexion. And it took a little while for it to just kind of warm up. That was like a quick 15-minute just test. And then a couple days later, I did 30 minutes on the bike. Again, took a couple minutes at that top range of motion. It all wasn't there yet. It loosened up a little bit after that. Again, not painful, just discomfort and stiffness. And today was able to jump on. I did 40 minutes on the bike, day 10 on the trainer. Was able to actually see some higher power numbers at the beginning of the ride. And the first minute was like very smooth hitting into it. It was like the first couple pedal strokes at the top. Just kind of had to loosen up the knee a little bit. So that's where we're at for today. We're basically at walking. I had surgery on a Tuesday. By Saturday, I walked a 5K around town here. So I'm walking or cycling every day. And yeah, it gets a little stiff at the end of the day as I put, time on tension on the knee, but that's what it needs. It needs to move. I feel the body's very adaptable. At least this is for me. This is my recovery journey. And I'm hoping to really just start to flow and get back out there once I see the doctor next week and get the stitches taken out. Tomorrow, the next goal, again, adding like little layers, little goals every day. If it's not mobility, if it's not time on the walk, time on the bike, it's just seeing where I'm at every day, looking for that little bit of improvement. Is I'm gonna try and take the gravel bike out tomorrow, out on the road for a little while and test that out, and just not on any trails, but just out on the road, so I can get, be day 11 for an outdoor bike ride, and that would be pretty cool. So that's kind of where I'm at here is flexion. Again, you're looking at it here. This is the control, and this is where we're at. If we're looking at deep squat movements, I just got off the bike, that's why I got my bike shorts on here, is, we're down. There's a little click in the knee there, but I mean, we're in a deep squat here, and there's, a little stiffness in there, but for getting the body weight down here, we're doing pretty good. This is being able to get my heel to my butt here, and then that's kind of where we're at right there. Still can't do like a child's pose or anything on the floor, but I couldn't do that before surgery anyway because of the injury. So here we go. We're feeling good. One of the other good things is like stairs. Stairs are becoming a lot easier as far as getting that lead foot down, not having to like shuffle down there, and being able to step over something now and having the flexion to be able to get that foot over, as opposed to you kind of do the side shuffle like this when your knee's really stiff afterwards. So being able to practice up and over, practicing a good gait on coming across and not hiking the hip up. That was one thing in PT where it was a correction, was you don't want to hike your hip up and come over. It's just got to be smooth. The way you would naturally lift your knee and come over, you want to lift your knee. Oh, a little balance there, a little off. Let's do it again. Over, again, lift the knee, up and over. So we're doing pretty good. Like 10 days after, again, I'm ready to get these stitches out. I'm ready to rock. So that's where we're at for the people that asked, for the people that follow along, people I don't talk to all the time that do follow along on this channel. And again, I'm just going to label this 10 days post-op, meniscus tear. So people can kind of see everybody's recovery is going to be different. But I think if you're strong, you're somebody who was out there getting it done. That's even what the PT had said, was she sees much quicker return to sport and return to activity from people who do move their bodies leading into surgery day and have been, like they're just an active person, rather than somebody who leads a sedentary lifestyle and unfortunately suffers some type of injury, and the activity that they're going to have to do afterwards, their rehab, was more work than they were doing just in general beforehand. So think about that. If you're just somebody who is in a little bit of a lull right now, you never know when something's going to pop up, and it would just be a lot nicer to be able to come back from a setback that much quicker, because you do move your body, you are strong, and you do the right things day in and day out, so that it can just be a blip on the radar and get back out there. So thanks for tuning in. Again, 10 days post-op, feeling good, feeling fresh. The weather's still good this summer. That's kind of another reason why I wanted to get it done, so we can still be out there doing things. And the home gym right here, I don't know if I posted yet, but I did a walkthrough of this gym setup that I had set up right before my surgery date. Because I wanted a space where I can come out and just do this stuff uninterrupted, and it worked out perfect. It really has been a great 10 days out here. I go through my cycle of rehab every day. Then you typically do a strength session and then follow it up with some type of cardio, whether walking or on the bike. So thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep balancing life 1 mile at a time. Catch you on the next one.